Hey, good morning, Kayla.
Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Saturday to you. And today Kayla and I have been talking about goals all month and in December. So today we wanted to wrap up what that we've been talking about with goals and do a quick refresh on it. So Kayla, remind us what percentage of the population actually writes down their goals?
3%. Yeah. And I know we talked about this on last week's call. Most people assume the number is much higher.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, that there's a difference between thinking about a goal and writing down a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And my assumption is a lot of people think about their goals. So they assume, right, that that's somehow correlated with writing it down. And that's an inaccurate statement. And there's a complete difference between thinking about a goal, having it in your mind, playing around with it and writing it down onto paper with a pencil, with a pen, something that you can physically look at.
Yeah, and I was quick doing math and I did it wrong. Um, the population of the US is 331 million people. So if we times that by 0.3, times. Here I thought I would do something. So that is about 9 million people of the whole US population. So that sounds like a decent number, right? But when you take the whole population of 331 million, that's not very many. So so
Small
you,
number.
yeah, it's little. So while you may be thinking, "Oh, I know plenty of people that write down goals," well, then you're most likely in that 3% or close to that
Mhm.
3%. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and your friend group falls into that category too, and your acquaintances and all that. And there's a whole another segment of the population that is still in the process of writing down their goals, which is why we're here today.
Yeah. And so when the goals are written down, they become 10 times more likely to happen, which is 1,000%. And those are good odds. So, yeah, take a goal, you write it down, and it becomes 10 times more likely. And any reason why, Kayla, that you can think of why it becomes 10 times more likely to happen?
Hmm. Uh, I would say the physical act of taking it out of your head and writing it down, creates a different level of commitment in my mind because
Mm-hmm.
you literally took a couple of minutes, right, to get a piece of paper, grab a pen, to write it down. And more than likely, you thought about it more after the fact, or you changed some things around, or you put it somewhere, like maybe it was a favorite journal, or you posted it somewhere in your house because you wanted to remind you of it. So all of those things create more interactions with the goal that you can physically see that physical reminder. So you keep it in the front of your mind.
Yeah, and you may be more likely to tell people about it too. So there's that. And then also the people that write down their goals tend, not everybody, so it's not like you write down your goals and automatically you're going to make more money. However, in the study that figured out how 3% of the people actually write down their goals, found out that those people that are writing down their goals 10 years later, when they came back and revisited those specific people, they were making 10 times more than the people that hadn't written down their goals. So writing down your goals can also mean that you get promoted at your job potentially because you start taking the steps to uh, to get there. Or if you want to become an entrepreneur and you start taking the steps to get there. So mm,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So what we are going to do today is we're going to take a goal and run it through those steps. So
Cool.
yeah. So I have written down the goal. I want to travel in 2021, but we are going to flip it around too. We're going to work on it and it's going to become Kayla's goal in the end.
Yeah. And that's a goal that's very relatable for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to travel. A lot of people traveled less in 2020, possibly. And now they want to make amends for it. They're feeling more comfortable or whatever it may be. They have that itch that they want to travel. So it's a very relatable goal for a lot of individuals. I'm in that category. I want to travel more in 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the first step, which we had talked about, is to write it down. So step number one, we write it down. And I wrote it down on this. However,
Anything. I have the back of an envelope is what I wrote. And I think that's the beauty of it too. I know that's the beauty of it, Chris. And it's not as if it has to be this beautiful piece of parchment paper, right? And you're writing beautifully in calligraphy or anything like that. A napkin, you can put it on a post-it note. I mean, look at the door behind me is full of post-it notes where I write down things, goals and that kind of stuff. So any piece of paper. Okay, keep going. So I wrote
anything.
it down.
Yes. So number one, we wrote it down. So now we want to look at it and see if there's anything that's soft talk in the goal. So soft talk like shoulds. I would say want is a soft talk goal, or soft talk in goals. What are some other soft talk words?
Well, it's any of those words that give you an out
Mm-hmm.
in case it doesn't happen. Like maybe I can travel in 2020. Maybe things are going to be better, or one day, or in 2021, I will be able to travel.
Mm-hmm.
The coulds, the mights, the likes, the possiblies, the shoulds. All of those are soft talk because they give you an out is really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't happen.
Yeah. So on my end, I crossed off the want and put will in place. But, so how did you rate yours down? We'll turn it back to you. So you have
Um,
now.
well, I remember this was a goal of mine in October when we were doing some goal setting, and um, I believe the way I wrote it was I want to travel to Africa.
Mm,
And I gave a specific location where I had this hope, and it really was a hope of where I wanted to travel. A friend recently moved there, and I was like, oh, I've seen some photos that she's posted. I was like, oh, like I would like to go there.
mm,
So I wrote it down, like, oh, I would like to go to
mhm.
Africa in 2021.
Yeah. So we've got it written down. We're looking for those soft words that give us an out. And then I noticed we both about had already done this. We put it in the first person. So if your goal was go to the gym, travel, and it's written out, make it a full sentence with I will travel. Um, I will travel. I will. Let's start there. Make it a sentence and make it personal.
Yeah, you have to be in the goal in order to accomplish the goal.
Yeah. So then once you have that step with it made personal, the next step would be to put a time date on it. So while 2021 is a time date, it's not specific. So sorry, Kayla, how can we make your goal of wanting to travel to Africa specific? Time
Well,
specific.
yeah, and for me, I would need to go at a time that it works with my current work schedule, and that would be mid-June to mid-August. So it'd have to fall somewhere in between that time frame for me to go. So I would say I would like to go to Africa in the summer of 2021.
So summer 2021. And then, so what that is step four. Step five would be to start getting specific with that goal. If there's anything that you can do, like say narrow down where in Africa, or if there's
Mhm.
little steps that you can do beforehand, like if you want to go to the gym, maybe you want to go to the gym and take a Zumba class or learn, or you're not feeling up to the gym yet, but you want to do an online class and you really like mace and you get a mace coach. Different options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can say for myself, because I wrote that goal down originally in October, after writing that goal down, a week later, my friend sent me a message and she said, hey, I got half off plane tickets. Are you serious about coming? And I was like, whoa, yeah, I am serious about coming. I wrote that down last week and send me the link. And then it became real. Then it was no longer I was going just to Africa, right? I was going to a specific location, Nairobi, Kenya.
Mhm.
Um, and then it was very specific because then it was a conversation back and forth with her, which was, when are you going to be available this summer? And I was looking at my calendar, and it became, and then I ended up buying the ticket, right? So it became, I'm going to Nairobi, Kenya in July 2021.
And you already had the ticket, so.
The ticket is bought. It's been paid for with my credit card.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that, and Kayla actually jumped to the end because she has the ticket and she did it. And another part with goals, many people have heard of SMART goals, which are specific. I should know this by now. Specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable, and timely. However, we are not big fans of being reasonable because reasonable is usually something small that you look at and you're like, okay, maybe I will save $10 a week to go buy this thing. It's smaller. We like to be unreasonable and dream big. So I encourage you to pick a goal too that seems to be something that you wouldn't normally do. Like Kayla's going off to Africa. How many people do you know that go to Africa? So be willing to be unreasonable with at least one of your goals. So that, and stretch yourself. See where you can go with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be a goal that you have for 2-3 years down the line. And by becoming more clear on what you're going to do now to achieve that goal, you more than likely are going to speed up the process to achieve that goal sooner, faster than what you originally anticipated, simply because you're looking at it constantly, you're thinking about it, you're taking action, you're writing things down. All of it becomes more likely simply because of that fact.
Yeah. And so then once you have done all of those things, you take the last step to get it scheduled. Take action on it, buy the ticket or put it on your calendar. If you are looking to do some movement every day, 30 minutes of movement, 20 minutes of movement, schedule that time on your calendar. Or buy the ticket. So.
Yeah. And stating it to people makes them aware of it so that they can be part of your team to achieve it, right? By me telling my friend in previous conversations that I was serious about going, even though part of me was like, am I really gonna go, right? There was that moment of hesitation. But when she sent me the link, it was like, well, of course I'm gonna go now. Like, why would I not go? There was no other option at that point. So sometimes you need to share your goals with other people. Most times you need to share your goals with other people so that they can help you get to where you want to be and let go of some of that resistance you may have.
Yeah. Sharing the goals, and if you find accountability in sharing your goals, you find a support system, and you may find somebody that's like, I can make this happen for you. So
Yeah, which is super cool.
yeah, 50% off plane tickets.
Yes, please.
So any other thoughts, Kayla?
No, my main thought is I'm really interested to see what happens for everyone. I know this past week with those we had attending, we are going to check back with them at the end of this quarter. I believe in March or April, we're going to check back in with them and see where they are on their journey. Because I know that it's important to create that support system and to continue to revisit the goals so you can make alterations, adjustments. Goals don't necessarily have to be thrown away if you're not making progress on them. The goals can be adjusted, as can anything in life. So, so reach out if you need assistance with it. And also know that in March, April, we'll be having another call revisiting the goals.
Yes. And have an amazing day.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, too.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.